Welcome to Sean's version of Trackwrestling Tournament Worker Training, brought to you by Eastern Loudoun Wrestling Club. Upon logging in as a tournament worker, you will be brought to this screen. If you are about to run a match on Track Wrestling and want it to be shown live, all you have to do is go up to the operating menu and click it, and then just click the electronic bouts. At this point, you will see a drop-down asking you to open the mat side controller. When you do this, you want to select Folk Style, and then you select Open. When you do that, you will get a new tab that will pop up. At this point, you have to decide on what mat you are currently on. So let's say I'm actually upstairs in the wrestling room, and I'm operating mat 5. I can click mat 5. And what you can see here is a series of matches. Now, before we start scoring the bout, what we need to make sure is that we move over the virtual clock or the scoreboard to the monitor that will be displaying for all to see. To do this, what you need to do is come here and click on Virtual. When I do that, you will notice a pop-up box appears. We want to make sure that Folkstyle RI USAW is selected, and we want to make sure our font size is anywhere from 90 to 120, depending on the size of your monitor. I'm going to leave it at 100 for now. When I do that, you will see a virtual clock, and you will see there's no wrestlers, and that's because I haven't started the bouts. This is okay. Now, I can't actually do anything from the screen, so I need to move this particular screen to my monitor for all to see. To do that, I want to come up here to the tab called Virtual Clock, hold my left button down, and move it. To demonstrate this, I have two monitors going. This monitor that you see right here is a section of my computer screen, whereas the monitor with Brandon Holpe stopping an awesome shot over here is my monitor for all to see. So I left click on this and drag it over to that monitor, as you can see, and then I place it in there, and then I can make it full size if desired. Now I need to actually go back, and this is where it gets a little complicated. So what I need to do is move my mouse back over to my computer screen by dragging it. I don't need to click anything, just kind of do it, and then what you'll see is all of a sudden it pops up in here. Okay, so now when you come back to this screen, you'll have this default backup, open up the folk style, and then what you're going to go to is matches and go to your match. So I'm match 5, now I switch to 503, and when I do that, I can start scoring. Once again, just to demonstrate that while I do this side and score the bouts, it's actually updating. So just to show you, if I go here and hit start and starts the clock, you'll see that it is actually running, and you can see it's a little bit of a delay. So if I go here and give a takedown, you'll see that it'll pop up. So this is how you're going to be doing most of your work and while you're keeping up this. It's important if Sean comes and tells you, hey, I had to mess with the bouts, and you have to restart, what you're going to do is hit stop here. You're going to come over to the other screen by using your mouse. You're going to actually close it by clicking the X. And then here you will actually go out by hitting matches. Okay, back to scoring. So I click on the bout I was scoring, and I go from here. So pretty much straightforward. You'll notice the clock should default to 1 minute. If it doesn't, then there's a big problem, but you should be okay. You can start the clock here. You'll notice up top, it'll show the on deck and in the hole. And now I can actually start the clock by clicking start. You'll notice it'll start running, and then we can actually wrestle. So a takedown happens over here. You just click takedown, and it does the scoring. Let's say the person gets a reversal. Click reversal. Let's say red now escapes. I click escape, and then they run out of bounds. I hit stop. The clock stops, and then let's say that I need to start it. I click the start button. It continues to go forward and say now he gets a takedown. I click takedown. The key thing you'll notice is that I can no longer choose takedown anymore over here. because they're currently in a position where red is at bottom, and you can see bottom is called out here. And at this point, let's say that this person gets a reversal, and then the period ends. So at that point, you want to click next, and what you'll see is it'll say choice 1, and then you basically say who has choice. So let's say red wins the toss, and they choose to defer. You hit defer. It'll then come over here, and green picks bottom. When that happens, it'll automatically bring you to period 2. I start the clock and start doing my things. You'll notice that green over here has all of the options for a bottom wrestler. So let's say this person actually does an escape. He takes him down again, and then he gets 3 near fall. There'll be no 4 near fall in our group. And then let's pretend that Joseph gets punched in the face. So I stop the clock, and then I come over to blood time, and he is bleeding. So what I do here is actually click set. That'll pop out blood time, and I start the clock. And I allow this to count down as far as it needs to count. And we don't really have rules on this, but let's say 5 minutes and 1 minute of an injury time is good. Once it's done, we actually hit stop. And then we don't want to hit reset because this actually stays with the match. Now what we want to do is go back to our main clock, which is up here, and click set. When I go to set, now I'm running the main clock again. I hit start and go about my work. So let's pretend that the time flies by really fast. I hit stop. You can see I can manually change it all the way to the end, or I can just hit the next button. I hit the next button, and now red has choice. Red picks neutral. I hit start. Red gets pissed off and throws him to his back and pins him. So the ref doesn't actually call near fall. So what I want to do here is stop the clock when the ref signaled the pin. Come over here to result, and I need to do this whether it's a decision or not. Click the result button, and then it will default to the wrestler it thinks it pins. So since Joseph was winning, it assumed Joseph pinned. If Joseph was not winning and Paul pulled like a crazy move, you can go over and click Paul. But we know Joseph won. We're going to select fall. If the score was 8-0, it would do a major decision. 15-0, it would do a tech fall or everything. If it's a double forfeit, you can click double forfeit. Hopefully we don't have any of those, but I will keep it on fall, and then I will hit save result, and it'll bring me back to the next bout, which is 5:04. A couple cool things that you can look at is, let's say we start the match and we have a bunch of stuff that happens like this, and then the referee says, whoa, what's happened? We don't know, like in case of a couple matches last weekend. So what you want to do here is you can stop the clock, and then you can actually go to summary, which is located over here. This will actually give you everything that's been done, and it's a great thing for a referee to look at. So if you want to go back to your match, you do not want to hit matches. You want to hit match and go from there and continue your match. Just to show you what a decision might look like, you can see the clock has ended, the score is 6-4, and now when I go to result, you will see that it knows this Thomas Ritter won and won by decision. If I need to change the result, I can actually, oops, the score was wrong, and let's say it should have been a major decision and the score should have been 12-4, and then I can click the save result button. Also, let's say you started the clock inadvertently and you need to reset it back to 1. You can simply click it back up till you get to 1, or click the reset button, make sure it's 1 minute, and hit OK. Well, thank you for joining us today for this training of track wrestling. If you have any questions, please reach out to someone, and have a good day.